Let's dive right into how Week 8 went. Recently, we just had the trade deadline, and the most notable trade was Von Miller being traded to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Von Miller has been a Denver Broncos legend. He will have his jersey hung in the stadium one day, and for the Broncos to trade him, that's a big move for their franchise. They could be looking at a full-on rebuild. The Rams just add to their defense, putting Von Miller on the same defense as Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Von Miller on one end and Aaron Donald on the other end is going to be insane for this Rams defense. The Kansas City Chiefs traded offensive tackle Laurent Duvernay-Tardif to the Jets for tight end Dan Brown. Now this is huge for the Jets, being able to put Tardif on the same old line as Mekhi Becton when Mekhi Becton gets back. The Mike White-led Jets beat Cincinnati, and the Trevor Siemian-led Saints beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Kansas City Chiefs traded for Melvin Ingram from the Steelers to add to their defensive line. The Chiefs' defense has had its struggles over the past few weeks, and now getting a defensive player is going to help that defense. The Houston Texans traded Charles Omenihu to the San Francisco 49ers. The most notable thing, besides Von Miller, was Deshaun Watson not getting traded. Now, the Dolphins did have contact with him, and the Dolphins owner did speak with Deshaun Watson. Let's dive right into the games. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going in and playing the New York Giants in East Rutherford. Now, obviously, there is news surrounding the Raiders right now. Henry Ruggs was in a car crash at approximately 3:39 a.m. in Las Vegas. The result of this car crash was a Ruggs DUI, resulting in a 23-year-old woman's death and a death of the woman's dog. Now, this is still going about right now, and Henry Ruggs' future in the NFL is likely over. Thoughts and prayers go out to the victim's family, and we are with them right now. The Vegas Raiders did release Henry Ruggs, and he is no longer a part of the Raiders team. The Raiders are coming off a bye, and they're coming off healthy going in to play on the Giants. Now, the Giants are coming off of 20-17 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Saquon Barkley was added to the COVID list, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play on Sunday. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to go. Another problem with the Giants is their receiving corps. They are all banged up right now. Now, Daniel Jones is going to have to lead the team, and with or without the receivers that are out there, it's going to have to be a Daniel Jones game for the Giants. Now, for the Raiders, they're coming off a bye. They should be healthy. But without Henry Ruggs on the team, they're going to have to lead on Bryan Edwards, and he could be a sneaky fantasy pickup. Now, Bryan Edwards, Josh Jacobs, and Darren Waller are going to have to run that offense alongside with Derek Carr. This could be a potential high-scoring game with the offenses, even though the Giants' defense has been playing well as of late, especially holding the Kansas City Chiefs to 20 points. Let's get into the Saints and Falcons, a divisional game in Atlanta, where the Saints are going to be led by either Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill. And now, yes, that is because Jameis Winston suffered an injury and was seen on crutches. It's going to be really big for the Saints to come up with a plan, whether it be led by Taysom Hill, who could return this week, or Trevor Siemian, who did beat the Bucs last week. Mike Thomas is another big name for the Saints. Mike Thomas is out for the remainder of the year. Now, Thomas did have an ankle injury. He was on the IR. He was designated to return soon. He would be missing the remainder of the year, as he announced on his own Twitter. As for the Falcons are coming off 19-13 loss to the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Falcons have been a hot and cold team, but the majority have been cold. They did get a win over the Dolphins a few weeks ago, but it doesn't look like their future is really good right now. Now, Kyle Pitts has been breaking out as of late, and that could be an upside for the Falcons in the future. Calvin Ridley did step aside from the team to deal with mental illness, which he announced on his social media. Now, Calvin Ridley leaving, it's going to be a big step up for the rookie tight end Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson, who is playing really well as of late. Moving on to the Bills and the Jaguars. The Bills are heading into Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Bills are coming off of a win over the Miami Dolphins, and they weren't really good in that game. The Miami defense was holding them up until the end when Josh Allen was able to get into the end zone to really put the game away. Now, Stephon Diggs needs to get more involved in the Bills' offense. They have not been able to involve Diggs as much as they should, and he is a premier top receiver. He did get into the end zone against the Dolphins, but he needs to be a more impact for the team. Now, as for Jacksonville is coming off a loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Jacksonville has not been good this year. They did get a win over the Dolphins. But other than that, there have just been many problems. Within the organization, you had the Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. They're not on the same page right now, and it doesn't look like they will be at the end of this year. Now, yes, Trevor Lawrence is a rookie quarterback, and Urban Meyer is a rookie head coach. But they both were receiving praise coming into this season. Trevor Lawrence was the unanimous number 1 overall pick, and he isn't producing like a number 1 overall pick should be at his caliber that he was projected to be at. Now, outside, you had the whole Urban Meyer situation, which was the video of him at a bar with a woman. He did come out and make an apology about that, but I don't think that the organization is over it, and the players are not on the same page with him because they don't respect him as they used to. That was a loss of trust and a loss of respect for the players. Let's move on to another divisional game. The Browns and the Bengals. The Browns are coming off of a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it was Nick Chubb's first game back after being injured for 2 weeks that he sat out of games. Kareem Hunt is on the IR, and Baker Mayfield is dealing with an injury to his non-throwing shoulder. But still, he was wearing some sort of sleeve, some sort of brace on his left shoulder, and he was not able to reach his full potential. Now, yes, in the game, it looked like he was, but that injury had to be nagging him the entire game. As for the Bengals, we talked about their loss to the Jets and how Mike White led the Jets to beat them. Now, the Bengals, they did look good for multiple weeks. Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and his connection with Joe Burrow is through the roof. But their defense did step up, and it could be that they are overlooking their opponents, just like they could have been overlooking the Jets. Now, the Bengals are going to look to rebound against the Browns. The Patriots have led by Mac Jones. Mac Jones, the rookie that they drafted with the 15th overall pick, has been a pretty good pick as to where he was drafted. Mac Jones has been exceeding, hitting his offensive receivers and his offensive tight ends in Jonnu Smith. The running backs, it's always crowded in New England, and it's a day-to-day basis off of who's going to have that game. Nelson Aguilar is kind of having a half-assed rebound career in New England, being Mac Jones' number 1 target, as it looks like. And the team is coming off of a huge 27-24 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. That defense came out to play. They balled out against Justin Herbert, and that is why they were able to win that game. As for the Panthers, they're coming off of a win over the Falcons, which we just talked about. Now, Sam Darnold hasn't been good. He was benched for P.J. Walker just a couple games ago when the Panthers played the Giants. Now, it doesn't look like Sam Darnold is the future for the Panthers. This could be a 1-year deal, and he could be out as soon as next year. Chuba Hubbard, the rookie running back, has played exceptionally well into that role with CMC out. Panthers have 3 weeks to activate him back to the roster after taking him off of the IR. Now, that is a huge step in the right direction for CMC, who's been banged up in and out for the past couple of seasons. That's big for the Panthers, getting their superstar running back back. Now on to the Broncos and the Cowboys. The Broncos are headed to battle. Now, last week, Dallas beat Minnesota in the primetime Sunday night game where Cooper Rush was the quarterback. Cooper Rush found out a couple minutes prior to game time where Dak Prescott was not able to go based off of him going out there and trying to test his injury prior to the game. And by game start, Cooper Rush was the guy who got the call.
They're just going to try
yes,
and do
Cooper Rush
a
did get the
typical
victory,
cover 2
and yes,
defense.
Dallas looks
The
phenomenal
safety
right
split.
now.
And then it's
Dallas
supposed
looks like
to be
their starters could be
Mackenzie
out, and they still
Alexander
have the
running
depth to
down
win
the
the game.
field.
Now, you
with
saw
that
it. If Zeke goes out, you have Pollard, who's been playing really well, and some may argue better than Zeke at some points in the season. Their receivers, they have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, who there were jokes about CeeDee Lamb asking Amari Cooper if he could score the last touchdown, and Cooper saying no. Now, for the Cowboys, it was no Dak, no problem, as they beat the Vikings. As for the Vikings, taking that loss really hurt their playoff chances. Now, yes, they're only 1 game behind, And Carolina is currently sitting at the 4-4 record as Minnesota sits behind them. The Houston Texans are heading to Miami to face the Dolphins. Houston's coming off of a 38-22 loss over the Los Angeles Rams, and Miami is coming off of a loss to the Buffalo Bills. Now, we did get into the news about Deshaun Watson and the Texans. The Los Angeles Chargers are heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are coming off of a dominating 44-6 win over the winless Detroit Lions. Now, yes, that's not really impressive if you look at the Lions' record, but the way the Eagles have been playing, it was really good for them to get their run game going, which all their fans were complaining about them not being able to do all season. Now, for the Chargers, it's kind of a rebound game coming off of a loss to the Patriots. Now, Justin Herbert did get on the injury report with a hand issue as he was limited in practice. The Green Bay Packers are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this might have been one of the biggest news. Aaron Rodgers will not be playing in this game. It will be Jordan Love getting the nod, with Blake Bortles being his backup quarterback for the game. Now, Aaron Rodgers was placed on the COVID-19 list and will not be eligible to return for at least 10 days, which will be next Saturday, a day before the Packers take on the Seahawks. Now, Aaron Rodgers might miss that game as well, but focusing on this game, Aaron Rodgers said he's immunized, but he's not vaccinated, which is not the same thing. Therefore, the NFL rejected his policy for an alternative vaccination. So Aaron Rodgers will be placed on the COVID-19 list, and Rodgers will miss this game. Now, for Patrick Mahomes, he's been struggling with interceptions leading the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has been playing too loose for the team. Now, usually when he plays loose, he makes the miracle plays and the magic happen that everybody goes crazy about. But this season, those have just been in the dark, as those magical plays have turned into interception after interception when Mahomes just tries to do too much. The Arizona Cardinals are heading to take on their division rival, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 49ers are coming off of a win over the Chicago Bears, where Jimmy Garoppolo did run for 2 touchdowns, trying to prove that he can run the ball just as well in the red zone as Trey Lance might be able to. Now, when you go to Arizona, they had a crucial loss to the Green Bay Packers last Thursday night, where they lost their first game. Now, Kyler Murray is injured. He will be a game-time decision. So that is going to be something to look at in this game. Kyler Murray's injury should be monitored more than what it is right now. It should be heavily monitored because Kyler Murray is a keystone to that team. Let's get into the Sunday night primetime game, which will be the Tennessee Titans and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the biggest news in this game is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry will miss the remainder of the 2021-22 season unless Tennessee makes a playoff push. Now, Derrick Henry might be able to make his return in the playoffs. Now, Derrick Henry being out for the rest of the year, the Tennessee Titans signed Adrian Peterson. Now, another note to look for in this game is Adrian Peterson is only 80 yards away from becoming a top 4 rusher of all time in the NFL. Now, with Adrian Peterson being in the team, the Titans could look to Ryan Tannehill for a bigger production, and especially to A.J. Brown, who has been able to pick up his feet over these past few weeks. Now, if Tannehill can connect with A.J. Brown, that could be a monster duo in this game. The only problem is that daunting Rams defense with now Von Miller adding to Aaron Donald. That A.J. Brown and Julio Jones is going to be very interesting to see where Jalen Ramsey lines up if Julio is a good to go for the game. Heading into Monday night primetime game where the Bears take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, last week, Justin Fields had this miracle touchdown run where he juked out Eric Armstead and other 49ers defensive players and scrambled all the way for a touchdown. Now, all the Bears fans were thinking it might have been Matt Nagy, it might have been Justin Fields. What was the problem in Chicago? After last week, where Matt Nagy was not there because of COVID, Bears fans might have a clearer perspective on who might be the problem in Chicago. Now, for Pittsburgh, this is Big Ben's year. Big Ben might be gone next year, he might be retiring. And Big Ben is trying to go out with one last push. Moving on to the bye weeks for this week, there are 4 teams on a bye week. We have the Detroit Lions, the Seattle Seahawks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Washington football team. Now, a key note in those bye teams is Seattle. Russell Wilson got the pin out of his finger and might be able to return as soon as next week. Based off of these slates of games, we could be looking at an incredible, chaotic Week 9 of the NFL.